Small businesses and entrepreneurs want staff to collaborate seamlessly with each other and customers, whether they're working from home, the office, or remotely. Achieving this takes secure, digital-first, and integrated tools that help people connect anytime, anywhere, on any device. That's why Microsoft has launched Teams Essentials, a standalone solution designed for SMBs. At just £3 per user per month, it's the most affordable all-in-one solution around and can transform how your people communicate. With powerful instant video meetings, shared documents, and files that are always quick and easy to find, as well as persistent chat, meeting recordings, and searchable transcripts, it's got everything your small business needs to make flexible working, well, work. To find out more about how technology can save you time and money while improving communications and collaboration, please visit aka.ms/hybrid SMB.
Hello and welcome to Small Business Snippets, the podcast from smallbusiness.co.uk. I'm your host, Anna Jordan. Our guest today is Thomas Hal Robson-Kanu, entrepreneur and professional footballer. He has made over 400 appearances for Reading, Swindon, Southend, West Brom, England and Wales, scoring that goal against Belgium in Euro 2016. Before his career took off, Thomas sustained 2 heavy cruciate ligament injuries. The painkillers he was taking were having adverse effects, so he and his father set out to find a natural remedy and learned of the anti-inflammatory properties of turmeric, which he started taking as shots. He went on to become a professional footballer after being told by doctors that such a career was out of the question. Thomas decided to take the turmeric shots recipe and turn it into a business. Sales for the Turmeric Co. have increased by 600% over the past year and the team has quadrupled. We'll be talking about the challenges of setting up the company and expanding into different countries. Hi Thomas, how are you?
Hi Anna, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. So as we touched on in the intro there's a little bit alluding to how the Turmeric Co. came about. Could you tell us a bit more about how the company and how the shots came to be as they are today?
Yeah, sure. So we launched the Turmeric Co. in 2018, and essentially what we did was we aimed to bring a range of highly functional natural shot blends, which my father had created a decade earlier, to market. And we realized that there were a number of consumers purchasing within this category of functional shot beverages, in the form of, liquid foods. And actually the quality on the market wasn't what it should be. And it wasn't anywhere near the quality of the product that we were using as a family made recipe. The blend itself is something which I had used, as mentioned, a decade earlier to support my own recovery from surgeries I'd had as a teenager. And we realized that if we could bring this to market at scale, we could also impact positively a lot of different people in all different walks of life to allow them to live, a healthy and an active lifestyle. And so we had to build a bespoke manufacturing facility in order to scale up our production of these high quality shots. And then we had to build, a logistics infrastructure and a framework within the business sitting under the brand to allow us to deliver the product direct to consumers in a chilled format throughout the UK. And we successfully achieved that in 2018, launched the business then, and we built the business and the brand very much as a digitally native vertical brand. So very much around that online customer experience, ensuring that we could educate the customers as well as take them through the journey of living a healthy, active lifestyle. And, with that, we built a really strong subscription model online. And yeah, we've obviously grown year on year since launch. We've built the business off of 3 main SKUs in our range. And we're in a position now where we're looking to upscale again, continue to deliver the product throughout the UK, and also explore international opportunities of distribution as well.
And so going back to where you started, what kind of challenges or difficulties did you have in starting and running the business in the early days?
Yeah, so typically when brands set up, they set up just as that, as a brand, so brand in the sales channel. But what we had to do, we had to become a beverage manufacturing business as well as a brand. So we almost set up two simultaneous business models, which were obviously intertwined, to allow us to deliver the quality of products that we envisaged delivering. And so that was the first challenge in terms of that whole infrastructure, understanding how to manufacture, the accreditations associated with that. And once we achieved that, which was, took around 2 years of research and development, once we did, we then obviously launched the brand. And the biggest element and challenge that we faced as a brand was really about differentiating our product with others on the market, because sitting on shelf, it's very hard to distinguish the differences or the USPs in what we would see as a really high quality product in ours versus a relatively lower quality product and a less effective product, which maybe contains apple juice, orange juice, water, doesn't have as much of the functional raw ingredients of the turmeric and the ginger roots. And it was really just about how we can differentiate that and communicate that to consumers and to the market. And so, we really did a lot of research. We worked hard in terms of our branding and messaging around the product. And as I said, the key element for us was building that online store and that online e-commerce platform, which allowed us to really educate consumers and take them on that journey. And yeah, as we said, we've built now a really strong network, a really strong community, all focused around healthy, natural living through high quality nutrition. And we're, as I said, looking to reach as many people as possible with the range and support people in all different walks of life.
How about expansion, as you're saying, into the future and going internationally? What kind of challenges are you envisaging there?
Yeah, so again, because the product is fresh, it's raw, it has to be chilled. So we have to deliver a chilled distribution chain wherever we go. So whether that's the last mile to consumers, we had to build, the boxing and the packaging in a way where the product was insulated and chilled. And so the biggest challenge that we obviously face is around how we maintain that chilled distribution chain throughout the product's life cycle. And yeah, it's an additional element. And again, it's when you look at sort of products on the market, there's a lot of ambient shop products, and that's achieved through pasteurization. But if you pasteurize a product, particularly a natural product, you're compromising up to 90% of the nutritional value of the product. So elements such as that are really important, where we could be ambient and we could have a shelf life of over a year on the product, but actually the purpose and the benefit of the product would be severely compromised. So we decided not to go down that route. It wasn't about just mainstream distribution. It's about delivering a high quality shot format to people in a convenient fashion. And that's what we've achieved. But now, as you said, scaling that beyond, particularly looking at international markets, the challenge is obviously maintaining that quality and that level of distribution throughout.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the shot form, I've seen a little bit of pushback from consumers saying that they would like something, say, in a bigger bottle, perhaps with less plastic, or I don't know, something a bit longer life. What would you say in response to them?
Yeah, so again, it's all about the quality of the product that we deliver. And so we cannot use glass bottles because we don't pasteurize our product. So we could move to glass bottles, but as I said, we would be compromising the product's effectiveness by up to 90%. So what we've done as a brand and as a business is we've embedded sustainability initiatives at our core. So as an example, all of our bottles are made from 25% biodegradable and 75% recycled plastic. We also have just launched a recycling returns initiative, which allows customers to return their plastic bottles as well as the boxing and insulation directly to us free of charge. And where we've obviously got a subscription model, the way that works is on the customer's next delivery, all they have to do is hand back the box with the bottles and the packaging to the courier, and it will be couriered back to us. And what we're working on doing now is bringing those used bottles back into our supply chain. So we're looking at a deep sterilization, a deep cleaning process where we can then reuse those bottles. And what that's allowing us to do is negate that level of single-use plastic, which obviously is very damaging to the environment, where we're essentially saying every single one of our bottles can be used multiple times by participating in this recycling returns initiative. So it's something we're really proud of. As I said, sustainability is at our core, and we're seeing, fantastic feedback from our customers, and more importantly, fantastic participation in the initiative as well.
For our listeners who perhaps are thinking of having a business with a kind of recycling scheme, what can they expect in terms of costs to set one up?
Yeah, so in terms of recycling scheme, it's obviously working collaboratively with the couriers. So we've worked really hard with all of our couriers to make sure that they're aligned with our initiatives and with our values to facilitate that sort of level. Now, again, that recycling returns initiative comes at a cost, but that cost is something that we absorb as a business and we embed into, our infrastructure and into our model. But again, it's not for all businesses, because I think we're probably one of the only UK-based businesses who really deliver that initiative as a fundamental part of their core. But the impact that it has not only on the environment, but also on the community and the understanding of our brand values is massive, because it shows and proves that, we're taking sustainability serious, and we're really taking forward thinking steps to facilitate that as well.
So I want to go back a little bit. You've obviously launched your business. Entrepreneurship is quite a common career path for footballers after they retire. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think there's certain challenges which come with entrepreneurship, which are aligned with elite sports. In terms of elite sports, you have to have, a high level of competitiveness. You know that, you have to continually deliver and strive towards achieving something. And that's very much similar in terms of entrepreneurship. You're always going to face adversity, challenges, but it's how you overcome those, how you deal with those, and how you can, always make the best possible outcome out of that adversity. So there's definitely, there's lots of synergies in that. And, also as well, there's lots of risks in terms of, involved in businesses, particularly when you're, trying to deliver such a niche product into a new growing category. But the rewards certainly are there. And the rewards for us are us receiving to date over 10,000 positive customer reviews on our range. We've impacted positively 10,000 people enough for them to go and, write a review, testimonial, and tell us about their own experience. And so that's the reward, positively impacting people's lives. And particularly in this day and age when there's so much spoken around health, nutrition, wellness, it's really an important topic. And you see it in terms of, the HFS regulation, high fat, sugar and salt regulation coming into play now, which again, I'm very actively outspoken about, because the impact that snack foods, fast foods, junk foods, highly processed foods are having on our society, but more importantly, having on future generations, is now more prevalent than ever. And an example of that is, since lockdown has finished, 1 in 4 children are leaving primary school obese. And that is fundamentally due to nutrition and to the food choices that families and kids are making. And clearly there needs to be change. There needs to be steps towards positive, healthy lifestyles. And for us at the Turmeric Co., we're massively passionate about that and are drivers towards that change.
I've read on your website that you're passionate about educating the future generation. So how would you guys personally go about doing that?
Yeah, so an example of that is, a number of our partnerships with elite sports across different sports sectors. So we've partnered with over 20 professional sports teams to build awareness through our partnerships with them on healthy living, healthy, nutritious options, and obviously the power and the effectiveness of raw functional ingredients, such as ingredients found in our range. And so building awareness through those partnerships, as opposed to the high fat, high sugar, high salt brands who have a monopoly. Take, for example, McDonald's, Coca-Cola. All of these are, highly processed, highly fat, high in sugar foods, which are ultimately damaging health of society. And they're snack foods, and everyone's allowed a snack. I love snacks as well, but it's not a staple part of my diet. And the issue is that because they've had the monopoly for such a period of time in terms of marketing, advertising, and basically being able to control the attention of the masses through various campaigns, TV campaigns, out of home campaigns, partnering with sports organizations. An example of that is in the World Cup, the World Cup final, over 1 billion people watch that. And the main sponsor of that is Coca-Cola. And it's like, of course, when that's the case, the young kids are going to be more predisposed to wanting these snacks as staple parts of their diets and their nutrition. And so, as I said, we're fundamental drivers in making that change and building awareness to consumers in all different walks of life of healthy, nutritious options.
Yeah, that's right. And I understand that the Turmeric Co. isn't your first foray into business. You had a business previously with your brother called the Sports Ledger. Could you walk us through the journey of that business and the lessons that you took into the Turmeric Co.?
Yeah, so again, I've sort of, very much been involved in entrepreneurship throughout my life. And I think been involved in a number of different businesses, in various different sectors. In terms of that was very much around, digitizing data, sports data, using, blockchain technology. But again, I would say in terms of the market, that was very niche and very early on in terms of that technology. And that technology is very much still developing. But it was a fantastic experience and lots of great learnings in terms of building a team, building the data behind it. And for now, what we're doing now at the Turmeric Co. very much is around data, understanding our consumers' wants and needs through their purchasing patterns and through their interactions with the brand. And you can really leverage data to offer a really heightened customer experience and tailored customer journeys to really educate them on the path. And for us now, obviously through nutrition, through our range, we can tangibly see that. So it's it's really, really good and great experiences for sure.
Blockchain, I've read, pretty popular among footballers. How do you think that cryptocurrency is shaping business and will continue to shape small businesses into the future?
Yeah, I think it's still very early in terms of sort of blockchain technology. It's a developing space similar to what the internet was, back in the early 90s, in terms of digitizing data, digitizing exchange of information. And all, blockchain technology is doing is, digitizing currency. So, being able to exchange currency, exchange value across the internet in a secure manner. But in terms of, the development of that technology, it's still very much early days. There's obviously a lot of hype around it, particularly things, such as NFTs now. There's a massive furore around it, but it's more about the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are very early still. And there's a lot of development required in the space. And if it continues to develop over time, then certainly it's going to be technology which will be adopted by the masses.
And do you think the metaverse, for example, will accelerate that?
Yeah, again, it's all innovation and technology, and it's there now. So it's simply around adoption. So it just depends, the barriers for entry, they begin to be broken down. The barriers of education, as they begin to get broken down, more and more people will be accustomed to it and adopt it. So yeah, it's certainly an interesting space, one which I've been involved in very, very early on, fortunate enough to have done that. So yeah, it's nice to see that area developing as we speak.
What kind of resources would you recommend for small business owners who are interested in blockchain and how it's developing?
Yeah, as I said, I think the infrastructure is still in development. So I wouldn't say there's, particularly significant use cases now, given that the internet as it is, there's a lot of infrastructure, whether it's payment gateways, things such as PayPal, Stripe, etc. It's relatively, the infrastructure is very good currently. So there's not a massive need to, move over in terms of, moving to a digitized currency and space at this moment in time. But yeah, I think, as I said, there's a lot of development required within the space. And I know there's a lot of work ongoing. But I think that will ultimately just take time. But yeah, standards of transacting in this day and age are more than sufficient, and what we've done with, our own online store, we've built a very robust infrastructure in terms of, utilizing platforms such as Shopify Plus, utilizing platforms, such as Yopto to drive, referrals, drive loyalty points, and then obviously, driving into SMS and email marketing as well. So those infrastructures are all in place and can be utilized. And I think that certainly should be the first point of call for any entrepreneur looking to enter into, sort of the e-commerce landscape.
Okay. And actually, something's just jumped to my head. Yeah, the Turmeric Co. does turmeric tokens as well. Was the thinking in mind an alternative kind of trade rather than money, like people can read blogs or leave a video review? What was the kind of thinking there?
Yeah, so it's just a way to reward customers, and we use Yopto loyalty and rewards for that, and it's basically a loyalty mechanism for customers who are engaged with us. So as they make purchases, they are rewarded with tokens, turmeric tokens, and then those tokens are then redeemable in store. So for our loyal customers, they're continually getting rewarded for purchasing with us and will receive things like discounts, rewards, merchandise. So it's a really unique way to build community and advocacy through those most loyal customers.
Great. Well, I think that's it from me. Thank you ever so much for coming on the podcast, Thomas. It's been great.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And an absolute pleasure.
You can find out more about the Turmeric Co. at theturmeric.co. You can also visit smallbusiness.co.uk for more articles on starting a business. Remember to like us on Facebook at Small Business Experts, on Twitter at Small Business UK, all lowercase, and subscribe to our YouTube channel linked in the description. Until next time, thank you for listening.